Hi Mavis, it's Nana, and for story time today, we're going to read another chapter from the book called Why, which is an Owlkids book. And today we're going to take a look at the chapter called Outdoor Questions. Outdoor Questions was originally a book called Why is Sky So Blue? And here it is. Here is the original book. It's all about going outside and finding out some great things about the outdoor life. Today I'm going to read to you, not only to you, but also to Oliver and Jamie and to Charlotte. And maybe in the summertime you'll get to have a playtime with those kids. In any case, let's take a look at why is the sky so blue and other outdoor questions. It starts off, like all of these books start off, with a little picture, family situation. Here's a dad and his daughter and their dog. And the dad is saying, or the little girl is saying, Ollie wants to go to the park. And the dad says, okay. And so away they go. You know what? It's been raining out there. And so the little girl says, well, why does it smell so fresh after it rains? And the simple answer is because the air is clean and wet. First, the rain washes all that floating bits like dust and soot out of the air. And then the wetness keeps the bits down on the ground so they don't get in the way of us sniffing other stuff. Wet air carries the smells of the wet trees and grass and earth to your nose even better than dry air. And the moisture in the air even makes the inside of your nose wetter, all the better to trap those fresh smells. Oh. Look who the dog has met. A kitty cat. Uh-oh. What comes next? Speaking of dogs, why do dogs sniff everything anyway? What do you think the answer to that is? Well, sniffing is a way for a dog to check things out. Because a dog's nose can smell things about 40 times better than your nose can. By sniffing, a dog can tell who's been around its home area recently or who's out in the park. It can tell if there's another dog nearby. It can tell if the animals it meets, and that includes you, are afraid or happy. A dog also sniffs to hunt down an interesting smelling animal such as a rabbit or a meow cat. You know, sometimes when you're out walking, I bet this has happened to you. In fact, I know it's happened to you. Sometimes we have a fall. Here's the dad putting on a BandAid on the little girl's knee because she fell. And the little girl says, "Oh, how does my cut stop bleeding?" And the very simple answer is it's a sticky story. Because as soon as you cut yourself, parts of your blood called platelets start to gather and they stick to each other and the edges of your cut, forming a thin cover over it. If the cut is big, the platelets may need extra help to stop the bleeding. Along comes fibrin to the rescue. Fibrin's another special part of your blood. Blood's pretty special, eh? And it weaves a crisscrossing tangle of long, sticky strands over the cut. Then the strands dry out to make a scab. And the scab acts like a bandage, so that new skin can grow underneath. And don't forget, don't pick that scab when you get a scab. Oh, I bet you picked a dandelion recently. Springtime now. Are there dandelions out in Ottawa? I'm not sure. Anyway, but why do dandelions turn white and fluffy? You see what she's doing? That's a fun thing to do, isn't it? Blowing dandelions. Well, the answer is so they can make more dandelions. Every dandelion bloom is made up of more than 100 tiny little yellow flowers. A seed forms inside each flower and gets attached to a long stalk. At the top of the stalks are white tufts. When the yellow petals fall off, all you see is the white ball of fluff. Do you hear the train? There goes the train past our house. The fluffy tufts are like little kites carrying a seed. Along comes the wind and whoosh! They carry the tufts and the seeds far and wide. The seeds get spread all over, and then there are dandelions everywhere. Oh, they're having a picnic now. A little snack and looking up at the sky. And here's a question which lots of people ask. Why is the sky blue? Well, because of scattered blue light waves. So believe it or not, clear light is made up of all the colors in a rainbow. Red and orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And these colors travel in waves. When light hits some things, some of the color waves are soaked up and some bounce off. Whatever waves bounce back are the colors that you see. So let's talk about the sky. So way up high in the sky, waves of light from the sun hit the air, and the air is made up of different gases. It seems like it's invisible, but it's made up of gases and tiny, tiny molecules. The blue light waves bounce off those molecules, and so that's why you see the sky as blue. When you look up, the blue-white light waves are scattering everywhere, and it's blue as far as you can see. Speaking of looking up in the sky, what is that white line up in the sky? It's a trail of ice, and it shows you where a jet plane has been. As jet planes have engines to make them work. We can't even see the plane, we just see the white line. As the engines work, they let off exhaust that includes water, so it's hot, like steam coming out of a kettle. When the hot water exhaust hits the outside of the plane, the steam cools and turns into water droplets. A second later, the water droplets turn into ice in the freezing cold air way up high, and those little pieces of ice make a long white trail across the sky. There's some other questions here. We're not going to read all the questions because it was too long last time. So, why do I feel funny inside when I swing? And another question is, why do some rocks sparkle? Do you go outside and pick up some rocks? And you'll see that sometimes they glint in the sun, don't they? It has to do with the smooth edges in them. When the light hits something that is smooth, it bounces off. Just think about how light bounces off a mirror and it glints. So the more smooth parts that the rock has, the more sparkles it makes. Here's another question that lots of people asked, or lots of kids asked. Well, why do birds sing? It's springtime now, And so we do hear lots of birds singing out there. So what are they saying while they're talking? If birds sang in words, you'd hear a lot of different messages. In the springtime, like now, you might hear a male bird that says both, stay away, but also, come and be my sweetie. To other male birds, it's a message to stay away out of this bird's territory. But the female birds hear the same call as an invitation to come right on in. Birds sing out all kinds of messages. Baby birds call, I'm hungry, Mom and Dad. I'm hungry, Mom and Dad. And birds in a flock will call together to stay together, singing, I'm here, but where are you? I'm here, but where have you? Some birds will even warn each other of danger, calling, watch out, wherever you are, watch out. Well, all in bird talk, of course. Here's a question somebody asked. What's a shadow? I wanted to point out you see how there's a shadow behind the word shadow? Well, that's the result of a very talented designer who designed the way that the words and the pictures work together in this book. Her name was Mary Vincent, and she made it possible for Scot Ritchie's wonderful artwork to stand out, but also to have some fun with the words. So it was fun for me when I saw this for the first time to see the shadow behind the shadow. Anyway, what is a shadow? Well, it's where light isn't. Light can't travel through things that get in its way. So when you're outside and the sunlight hits you, it's stopped by your body, while all around you the light is reaching the ground. See, all around here, except for right here. Where you block the light from reaching the ground, a dark shape is formed, your shadow, and it goes with you everywhere. Another question that people asked was, where do puddles go? Up and down and all around. Sometimes a thirsty creature, like Ollie the dog, will lap up some of the puddle water. But much of the puddle escapes down out of sight into the soil. When it stops raining, what's left of a puddle will start to dry up. The water floats away into the air all around like the water from wet clothes hanging up to dry. Going, gone. And finally, here's the dad and Ollie and the little girl coming back home after their walk to the park. The little girl says, but Dad, Ollie wants to go back to the park now. I don't think that's going to fly to you. Anyway, Mavis, love you. See you again another time. Bye.